to get that email with the link and for the stragglers to join. We'll do a round of introductions. But thank you all for tuning in early. I'll make sure our stream is up and running here. Okay. And I will paste that. Oh, Peter's coming in. Okay. All right. We're going to wait just another 30 seconds or so for people to join. Welcome, Andrew. Welcome back. Nice to see you.
Hello.
Hi, Peter. How's it going? Cool. Got some more people coming in. I'm just going to give everyone another minute or so. Hi, Lionel. Welcome. Hey, JC. Miss Larissa's coming in. It's going to be a full house this evening. That's what I like to see. Very nice. Very nice. All right. Well, I will go ahead and introduce myself. Most of you probably know me by now, but my name is Austin David Coffey. I am the producer for Strawberry Hill Studio and Samurais of Sound. And I'm coming at you live from Strawberry Hill Studio this evening. It's our production facility just north of San Francisco across the Golden Gate Bridge in Marin County, California. I do voice acting, I do recording engineering, music composition, music production, and I'm the community manager for our Samurais of Sound members, of which many of you are. I can see a lot of familiar faces. And let's see what else. That pretty much covers it for me. I would love to hear, for those of you who I am meeting for the first time, your voice acting stories, or a bit of who you are as a creative, as a creator, as an artist, and that goes for everyone, even if I already know you. So with that in mind, Jaquez, welcome. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hello. Oh, there we go. I just had to mute my mic. Hello, everyone. My name is Jacques Johnson, and I am, well, I don't know if I want to call myself an upcoming actor, but as far as upcoming actor in my city, but I'm starting my career as a voice actor. I just got done with my first play in Memphis called The River Bride. And I have a great experience working with the director and the people over there.
Very nice. Congratulations.
No problem.
All right. How about David? David, are you there? All right. If you're there, David, just at some point, just go ahead and leave us a comment or raise your hand or something. We'll come back to you. In the meantime, moving right along to Andrew. Andrew, welcome back.
Hello everyone. My name is Andrew Tevi. I'm currently a voice actor in training with Strawberry Hill Studios, and I'm also graduating in a few weeks from Mercer College. And speaking about that, I managed to get a iPhone 16 for my graduation gift.
Nice.
And I'm also pre-ordering the Nintendo Switch 2 on Thursday midnight at Best Buy.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I heard about that Switch too. So that's exciting. You're graduating. So tell us more about that. What's the plan?
Well, I'm surviving. It's a hard semester. I can't I'm like, you know what? I want to graduate. I want to pass the semester because I'm like, I want to be done with college for good.
Hmm.
It's hard because like motion graphics, it's like all about perfection. Trying to make sure the opening titles is perfect, and it's kind of like you can make it like based on a TV show or like a film or movie or something like that. But it's kind of more like you can make it like your own, but it has to be based on the source material. And I'm doing like an anime opening based on Astra Lost in Space, which my friend Martina got me into. And then I have to deal with 3D animation, which is a pain in the butt to work on because I had to learn how to 3D animate the characters, how to pose them, and how to model them. Oh my gosh. I'm like, like after I graduate, I'm like, freedom, get my certificate, graduate, and be like flat in the bed and be like, I made it.
Yeah. Are you putting together like a demo reel that you'll be able to use on your website or something?
Maybe, but I'm still looking for like animation jobs in general, even though I got rejected by Disney about 14 times, but like my mom says, Thomason Edison got rejected 99 times or 1,000 times. So that gave me a motivation to not give up, keep applying, get the job. So, and also to get my voice acting job too as well, so I could be with my sister. And pretty much I'm just all right now. Currently, I'm just surviving this tough semester very heartily.
Well, keep us updated. That is a valiant effort. Peter, welcome. I think I'm meeting you for the first time. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hello, everyone. My name is Peter. We have met once,
Mm,
David. Had a conversation, and I was curious about this community, which is why I am
mm,
here today. Professionally, my background is in directing theater. I can direct films, I can direct music videos, but I prefer theater. I prefer being able to work with people in this close capacity, and I prefer the ephemeral nature of theater. Having said that, I prefer theater. I spend most of my time watching animes and cartoons and movies and films
yeah, yeah.
over theater, so that's why I'm here.
We just, my wife and I just picked up a subscription to the streaming service called Marquee that has
Mhm.
like all kinds of fine art. And so we watched, it was over Christmas. We watched some fine art version that of A Christmas Carol. It was A Christmas Carol, a ghost story. Because it
Mm.
wasn't, there was no music in it. It was very serious and kind of spooky. But that was cool. I don't know. We've been getting into a little bit of that theater stuff as well. So very cool.
It's cool
So
that you mentioned that.
mhm.
I'm actually curious about how we'll probably get into this later on. I'm curious about how the fine arts and this side of the world can mesh together.
That is a really fascinating conversation. Um, yeah, I mean, voiceover, there's so many needs for voiceover. Like all of those productions need promos, right? For their advertising and stuff like that. So, um, if you were making like a demo reel for voice acting, you could do like, if it was a promo reel, you could do those kinds of promos on it, right? Um, Yeah, theater. I mean, the very nature of theater is that you're looking at the actor right there on stage, right? They are the voice actor as well. So right. But there's definitely room for all of them. Um, any other thoughts on that? That's a really interesting idea.
Anybody else want to jump in on that?
We have some chat in the people chatting about different animation software in the chat there. All right. Well, thank you, Peter. And Miss Larissa, would you introduce yourself?
Certainly. Good evening, everybody. I am not in my sound booth. I'm just on my sofa. I did live theater for ages from the time I was, I don't know, 11. I went to the Vassar College Community Repertory Theater Institute all through my teen years. And so my biggest challenge in voice acting is learning to take my outdoor voice and put it indoors because I did live outdoor theater for years. And so I get into my sound booth and it's really hard for me to not habitually project to, row 337, section YY. But I'm working on it.
Very nice.
Oh, and I would just like to say that my husband and I had a great weekend because our Best of the H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival DVD finally arrived.
Wow.
And so
Hold
this
on, let
is
me
what we
pin
did.
your
Is we
video up here. Very cool.
Here's the poster we got for being buying the supporting member ticket or whatever.
Wow.
Oops, sorry about that.
50 plus shorts and feature films. How many did you get to see?
I don't know. Math is not my strong suit. And after a while, it is the H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival, so I can't tell you. I will not talk about this all night, but I will say that Suitable Flesh was amazing. It was absolutely incredible. It was one of these. The thing about Lovecraftian fiction is if you just try to make a movie showing one of HPL's stories word for word, it looks ridiculous. The thing you have to do is take the concept and build a new story. So Suitable Flesh took the concept of the thing on the doorstep and got some really good actors, especially like the teenage actor. It was a really incredible film. It was absolutely terrifying. I was biting my nails off by the end. It was incredible. And also the Frogman movie, we were looking at it kind of laughing, going, ha ha, Frogman, Ohio cryptid, ha ha, it's a Frogman with a wand, ha ha. And it did start out as kind of a joke, like this people were on a road trip and some of the people on the road trip were treating the whole thing as a joke. The premise is this guy, when he was a teenager, took a picture of the Frogman on a family trip, and now the whole world laughs at him for his fake Frogman photo, and he wants to go on the road to prove that he was right. And his friends are like, ha ha, really? And the road trip becomes increasingly Lovecraftian. Really, really good.
So basically a reverse Boy Who Cried Wolf.
Yes, he cried Frogman, and he was perfectly correct.
Yeah, speaking of like writing or reading style, I don't mean to interrupt. I would say read Blood Meridian. If you've ever seen No Country for Old Men, you would love Blood Meridian. It has yet to be adapted.
For the Coen Brothers movies, I think I prefer Hail Caesar and Miller's Crossing.
Interesting. Because I did do a
A lot of
sample for
people
Blood
haven't seen
Meridian.
Miller's Crossing because when Miller's Crossing came out, the Coen Brothers were not yet the Coen Brothers. They were just a couple of guys. And unfortunately, Miller's Crossing is a gangster movie that came out the same year as Goodfellas. So, yeah, good luck with that. But yeah, Frogman, we were completely surprised. We were expecting to kind of laugh our way through it, and we laughed our way through the first third. But then the rest of the movie arrived, and oh my God. So yeah, if you guys go to ArkhamBazaar.com, you can get like all of the DVDs of the H.P. Lovecraft Film Festivals. Some of them are laughable, but some of them are really amazing.
All right.
Arkham Bazaar. Just hearing the name Arkham makes you think of Batman.
I'll put the link in the chat. Austin, I think I've talked enough. Do you need to move on to someone else?
Please put the link in the chat. That sounds really cool.
Yes, sir.
Let's see, JC, since it looks like you're next in line here, why don't you introduce yourself for those of you who have not met you?
Hi, my name is John Carlos, but you can call me JC. I'm a voice actor in training, and I first studied under Joshua Seth, I still am, and I studied under Strawberry Hill with Karen Strassman, with Austin, and right now I already have my demo reel up, and I'm working on my script, my additions right now. And so far, my proficiency is mainly within voice acting, accents, and then translation as well, because I am a choir member, a Byzantine chant choir member, so to work on range, but to also work on emotion as well. Even being Julius Caesar when I was in a play when I was in middle school, they even had to do the stab scene. So it's like So it's like that was fun.
What
But so
kinds
far,
of Oh, go ahead.
what were you saying?
I think Jiren had a question.
No, I said, oh boy, to the stabbing thing, and it's Jiren.
Jiren, nice to meet you. I was gonna ask
Nice to meet
JC.
you
You
too,
mentioned
Austin.
something about auditions. What kinds of auditions have you been doing?
Well, as I'm first contacting Karen Strassman's agent, and then of course I'm doing the auditions for the Echoes of Time that I'm gonna work on with you tomorrow because I need to know how to turn in the demo reel and put it into a proper recording.
Yeah, I saw that on my schedule. We've got our private training coming up tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
I
then
can walk you through that process. JC's talking about Echoes of Eternity. It's an original production through Strawberry Hill Studio
like
that auditions are open to Samurai of Sound members, and we're closing the first episode auditions on May 7th, and we have auditions available for the first 2 episodes right now.
And then so far, I am a artist and cosplayer. I mean, I'm trying to get my education in Japan because it has stricter copyrights against the meta AI that Adobe's doing. And it's like I said, I do as a animation and art student, I do not recommend using that. It's basically like, it's like you're better off making a deal with the devil because it's basically saying anything you do will basically belong to them and that you will have no and you will not get paid for any of that stuff. So that's why it's like, I'm studying abroad. I'm getting my TFLA over here so that way I can make ends meet over there. And then not to mention with with my animation skills, I am working on doing human anatomy so that way I can draw for books as well. And then the other talent I have is translation, so that way I can translate in English and Spanish for the Japanese, especially if they need voice actors for translation in English and Spanish.
Very cool. Thank you for sharing, JC.
Mm-hmm.
Next up is Syed. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, please correct me. Welcome.
Hey, yeah. How's it going? Yeah, so you can call me by my first name Syed or middle name Hussein. Both are fine. I don't remember if I think I might have told you Hussein. Probably, yeah. I'm the scientist who's getting into voice acting right now. So I've been perusing through a lot of stuff from the as a Samurais of Sound community member. Been perusing through a lot of the resources, and I'm also prepping an audition for the visual novel for Echoes of Eternity. So yeah, I've been focusing a lot like I have no professional like vocal or singing background other than maybe just like like fun stuff with friends like making cartoons and flash animations when I was a kid, but like nothing like this level. So really excited to to try this one out. Yeah, yeah.
Very cool.
Also,
Welcome back.
also into art and cosplay. I'm getting ready for Gen Con this August. So it's technically July and August, but it's like July 31st to like beginning of August here in Indiana, and I'm gonna be cosplaying, so gonna be pretty fun.
That's amazing. No way. I met Thomas Jane recently, the guy who did the original Punisher.
Cool, cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, there are a lot of big people. It's mostly like games, like board games and stuff. But there's anime and video games and things too. So yeah, yeah.
I love video games. I grew up being a gamer.
Cool, cool.
Jiren, tell us more, and why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Jiren McMillan. I was born and raised in Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm 26 years old, and I'm currently working at a food city.
Very nice. Very
Okay.
nice.
Okay. Anything else? This year. Okay. Sorry, because like I'm stuttering or stuck in a rut in my brain.
No worries.
Okay.
Jiren, what is it about voice acting that really captures your imagination? What is it you like best about it?
Well, okay, here's the story. Ever since I was a kid, I've always acted out everything I loved off of the screen, whether it's cartoons, video games, anime, anything that catches my eye, you can name it. I'm always doing that, and people say that I should be an actor or a narrator or just like an announcer or something like that. And I would like to try to do that, but I don't. Even though I have all this experience, it's just feels like I don't have what it takes to actually set it all in motion. I mean, I don't have the money. I don't know how to make a demo reel, and uh, feels like I'll just be lost if I go through with this.
Yeah.
Even though I really want to put my voice out there and entertain people, whether I'm a cartoon character, an anime character, or a video game character, I really want to try to entertain people with this skill of mine. Again, seriously, I can act out anything. I can act out anything I know from a cartoon, video game, or anime. Seriously, name a show and I'll try and act out something from it. Anyone want to name a show, video game, or anime? Come on. Okay. Okay. Huh?
Trigun. That's the Stampede.
Actually, it's only certain. No, I've never seen that. All right, let me give you an example. Okay, SpongeBob. I guess after that's worst of what? Oh, hey Patrick. So SpongeBob, you know what you're gonna do with this fat stack of cabbage yet? Well, I don't know yet. Well, my dad always told me that you can't spend money willy-nilly. You gotta have a plan. Wow, he said that? Actually, he kept saying, how many times are you gonna stand there doing nothing all day? But I knew what he meant.
Thank you, Jiren. That was wonderful. I think a lot of what you were saying probably resonated with a lot of us about not knowing where to get started in the voice acting industry. So that's basically what we're all about. So we can talk about some of the resources we have for you a little bit later.
All right, but we can continue. I mean, it sort of feels like that. I'm like a bridge between animation and the real world. I mean, I just love being in the animated world, but sometimes stuff in the real world is a big hassle. I love my family and friends and all that, but being in the animated world, it feels like, wow, I'm me, but a whole different person.
All right. Well, let's continue with our introductions. I'd love to hear from Chris.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, no worries.
Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Satoli. I've been a full-time voice actor since 2014. I've done dubbing, animation, video games, commercials, narrations, e-learning, IVR, you name it. I probably voiced it. I worked with Disney, Nickelodeon, Microsoft, Crunchyroll, Funimation, a little bit. So a little bit of everything. Also started coaching this year with a few other voice actors, and yeah, I love the community so much. And what I personally love about voice acting, which kind of inspired me to voice acting, was actually two things. One, it was the video game Lunar Silver Star Story, which just got remastered recently. I actually played the original one on Sega CD. And also, I love voice acting because I can't picture myself doing anything else. I love breathing life and energy into characters, into a script, even something as simple as corporate narration or something silly as video games or animation. I think it's great that people get inspired, get emotional, get to cry from hearing your voice. And I think that's a really powerful tool. That's why AI will never replace us.
Damn right. Screw AI.
That's why I say sorry. Yeah, that's where I am right there. It's like, since they try to do this in the college system, it's like I'm educating myself in a place where they take the copyright law seriously compared to, where they try to mafia size it.
So, Chris, can you give us an example of a role that you had you were cast for recently that you really were inspired by?
I'm not sure if I could talk about it yet, but I think I can because they released footage of it. So there's a video game called Identity V. I play Morrow. I got to work alongside Bryce. I'm sorry, drawing this, but Bryce Papenbook. Wow, sorry. Just kind of seeing those characters interact inspired me. There was also an independent video game I worked on. Unfortunately, I can't release the name just yet, but what got me was a real emotional place where I had to dig deep inside to kind of breathe that character. And probably best compliment I got is the gentleman who's creating the game. It's him and his wife. He's called me up and he said, "Dude, you made my wife cry." Like, I'm like, oh well, I'm sorry, but awesome. Also, there's a video game I did called Imago Beyond the Nightmares, where I did every male role. That was also a nice emotional one too. So yeah, just always it inspires me. I love working for indie studios because they put so much passion into their project, and just to kind of help them along the line is incredible.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. I'm sure we may have
Thank
some
you for asking.
questions
Thank you.
for you. Um,
Sure.
if anybody has any that they have for Chris.
Yeah, I'm an open book.
Yeah, Chris. I remember asking Bryce Papenbrook, since he did Inosuke and Demon Slayer. I asked him if Inosuke ate pig, does that mean he is a cannibal or he wouldn't care? He said he probably wouldn't care. But I know that his father did work on a lot of Power Rangers projects. I know that I was talking to Joshua Seth, and he did work with his father. He was telling me as well when they did a lot of the early Fox Box studio stuff. Like I remember when I watched Trans Transformers RID 2001.
Oh man, I love Power Rangers. First one I watched was the Samurai one on Nickelodeon. It was my favorite, along with a few others after that.
Yeah, fun fact, I actually was as a kid, I was actually an extra on the original Power Rangers when they filmed in the US. Well, they always filmed in the US, but when they're bringing it over, one of the really real issues, I was one of the kids running in like that restaurant they always met at. That was pretty cool, and I got to meet at the time I didn't know Richard Horvitz. I didn't know he was stopping by, and Tony Oliver. I didn't know who they were because I was just a kid, but later on I found out who they voiced, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome.
And fun fact, Joshua
Oh,
Seth was the original voice before Richard Horvitz before, and then they did the remake of Ape Escape on the PSP.
That's right.
And how to say this? Yeah, this was way before they moved Power Rangers production to Australia and New Zealand. I did meet some of the New Zealand actors right there. They're pretty cool. I even got the SPD badge from them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank
Wait,
you so
you have
much
an
for sharing.
SPD Power Ranger badge? JC, you have an SPD Power Ranger item on here? That's awesome.
Yeah, made out of real diecast metal.
SPD emergency! Oh man.
Thank you, Chris. James, welcome back. Great to see you.
Hey everyone, good to see you. I know it's been a couple months. If you don't remember who I am, I'm James. I just started the Strawberry Hills Samurais of Sound voice acting community here. I kind of got sick for like a month, so I had to kind of like stop for that time being, but slowly catching up, and I just heard about the auditions that's happening, so I'm gonna have to schedule some time to kind of catch up. But it's kind of cool, like all the talk between theater and Fox Box just now. I just went through memory lane, so you guys reminded me of like my previous theater work I did. Like I only did like 2 plays, but then I kind of reverted over to the stage tech side, so kind of behind the scenes, like working audio and stage carpentry and stuff. But speaking of like Fox Box stuff, you kind of just reminded me. I don't know if anyone remembered watching like the old Fox TV show, Saturday morning cartoons, and like there was I think one in particular. There's Transformers.
Yeah, RID 2001.
Yeah, I think
I
that's
remember
the
this
one.
one Transformers show on Cartoon Network. Oh, it's been so long. Maybe a few others.
I had to reach out back here, and I remembered I had a long time ago. I was at a con, SAC Anime, and I got an autograph from Neil Kaplan, who voiced Optimus Prime back then.
I met him. He was pretty cool. Fun fact, he also does Madara from Naruto, and he does Yamamoto from Bleach.
Yeah, and I guess he does like voices off the video game Destiny too. So yeah, I remember asking him a long time ago about like voice acting tips, and he says here, James, I hope I was of some help. Email me at necap.net for anything else. I think he used like NetZero, if anyone knows what that internet service was back in the day. Your pal, Neil, voice of Rid Prime. So You reminded me of this, so I had to pull this out. So that was really cool. Thanks for that reminder.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing, James.
Yeah.
Robert, hello. Haven't heard from you yet. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. How's it going?
Good.
All right. Well, my name is Robert. I am a voice actor, and I am a indie creator. Making my show, which is called Fighting All Odds. It is coming straight out of my pocket, so it's a lot of money, but it's a lot of fun, just like voiceover. Been doing it for probably. Let me rephrase it. I'm a screen and a voice actor, so I've been doing that on and off about 5 years currently, and moved to Atlanta to pursue it. So
Very nice. Yeah, I used to live in Atlanta. That's where I went to middle school.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Woodward,
Nice.
Woodward Academy. Tell us about your show.
Sure. So the show is it revolves around a teenage girl named Jackie, who whose whole goal is to become a superhero. She wants to prove herself. But there's a new threat in the city, and her and her friends have to stop it before it escalates too much. My The show, the character is hard of hearing, so ASL is heavily incorporated within the show, but it's not like the focus of the character. It's been a pretty fun aspect learning about that part and that community, just growing along with the show itself.
Wow, that's amazing. Did you have
That
any level of fluency
that's
with ASL before you took on the project, or have you been learning as you go?
I've been learning as I go. I had always liked the language, but I never really got into it. I never really knew anybody, and I never really had the opportunity.
Mhm.
And then as I really became an adult, really is when I had the resources that I knew. Because growing up in the '90s, we really didn't have too much internet access,
Mhm.
and so I've learned as I've gone, and it's been a pretty fun process. I've got a couple friends who speak it, and so I've been practicing with them.
Yeah, I was involved in a project recently called Sign Me a Song. It's an upcoming app that's coming out. I wrote 4 songs to teach people who have normal hearing, who might be interested in learning the very basics of sign language, targeted more towards younger audience, like children and families. But yeah, I wrote 4 songs that feature different basic words about like family, safety, and animals, stuff like that. And then they filmed like some music videos of people acting out the signs as I sing the lyrics. So that was pretty fun. That'll be out
That was
probably
interesting.
by the end of the year. I think it's a free app. I'm not sure about the
Okay.
price, but yeah, sign me a
That's
song.
really cool. That's actually really, really cool. I love it because my personal thing is as I was doing this, originally the character wasn't going to be deaf. And the artist I was working with at the time, I was like, something's not right. I'm not feeling it. He goes, what if she was deaf? And I was like, that's a really good idea. So as I grew into it and I developed the show, started writing the script, I researched the community, talked to a bunch of people, and it's a very underrepresented group of people.
So what is your plan for the show? How far along are you, and what's next for it?
So right now, I am creating a 45-second teaser, and the goal is to get that completed hopefully by next year. I'm at least 1/3 of the way of finished with the animation. Now I don't draw it; everything comes out of my pocket, money-wise. So I'm just a producer.
Mhm.
But I have a team with me very talented team who does. And so we've just finished the biggest section of the teaser. It's cleanup animation. Once I get the other 2 portions, then it comes to coloring and shading, and it's all ready to go. At that point, I'm going to put together probably a Kickstarter for the pilot. The main goal is just to get the pilot out right now and see how that goes. If people if people latch onto it and they like it, it may mean more episodes. But if it doesn't, I do want to continue with it. Um, uh, if I may want to continue with it, it's cost a lot of money just in general. Animation. This is somebody who's paid out of their own pocket for it. I've spent probably of my own money, I would say at least 15K just in general right now. It's a very expensive process.
Wow, seriously? You wouldn't ask for any help for any family or friends to help you out with this project?
I mean, I do have some family and friends that have helped out here and there. It's just, I'm too stubborn to ask for help.
Robert,
like
thank
I'm the
you so much
opposite.
for sharing all that insight into your process. For
Feels like I-
for the production we're working on, Echoes of Eternity, we're calling it a visual novel, and the visual part will be quite rudimentary and simplistic. But we're producing it basically as an audio drama first. So we're having the auditions now for the voice actors, and we'll have all of our voiceover together. By the way, talking about languages, I wrote 3 fictional languages for the first 2 episodes. Actually, really just the second episode.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting process.
That's actually
right on.
But
Sorry.
Very cool.
and
sorry to interrupt.
so yeah, we'll put all the voiceover together, all the music together, all the sound effects, get the timing of everything, and then we'll have all the audio done, and then we'll start producing the visuals. But the visuals will be quite simplistic compared to the project that you're undertaking, which is really cool. But we'll probably have assets for each character design and each environment, and then just kind of see how we can stretch it as far as like effects and stuff go, featuring other elements on screen. Like we're going to have a heavy emphasis on the voice actors themselves, so making sure that they're credited. I think we'll experiment with actually crediting them on screen as which characters are in the scene, and some things like that. So anyway, that's just a little bit of stream of consciousness about the show.
Right on.
Thank you.
That's actually really good. Oh, sorry. I was just saying, yeah, speaking of creating languages, I was talking to Matthew Wood, the same guy that did General Grievous in Star Wars. I remember he talked about his linguist. They made Huttese based on how to say South American indigenous languages. So basically, it's basically South American indigenous languages right there. If you look at Huttese right there.
Interesting.
All right, so let's see. We heard from Lennel. Lennel, you've been here the whole time. You're like one of the first people here. Welcome.
Hi, hold on. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Very nice. All right then. Hi, my name is Linnell Ray. I'm 29. I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I'd say I got into voice acting because one day I was like watching like Rugrats when I was a kid, and I was just like on like the commercial break, I just see like behind the scenes, and then I see E.G. Daily speaking as Tommy, and I was like, there's a woman who plays Tommy Pickles, and I thought that was the craziest thing ever. I don't know, it just blew
Yeah,
my
sometimes
mind.
it's surprising when some girls can voice the boys in TV shows. Then, hey, I don't see a guy voicing a girl.
No, I just think it's amazing. I just think it's amazing. But I want to be able to do more things like that. And what's it called? I really liked her voice a lot. I really look up to E.G. Daily, Tara Strong, and all that. And I'm currently not in my booth, but I'm a voice actor for over 6 years. My first IMDb credit was actually from a YouTube series called Tales of Zale. I played a little fox boy, and I played him for like the first 3 episodes. And let's see. I'm also a VTuber, and I'm attempting to become a professional cosplayer model. Because it's something that I've always wanted to do since I was like younger. But me being like 29, a lot of the younger audience really gets to latch on to that, but I still look young. It's totally fine. And so I also my icon is how I look right now. Let's see. Just two more things. Let's see. I tried to actually write down the things I wanted to talk about today. I used to do stage work, but I stopped. I actually graduated from a performing arts high school, and I thought that was pretty cool. But I feel like my best work is behind the mic. I have a character reel up, and I'm currently working on a commercial reel and trying to get into more VA rosters and agencies at the moment.
Very nice. Congratulations on the reel.
Thank you.
All right. Ijeoma, welcome back.
Hi. It's
Hi,
been
how's
a
it going?
bit. Good. Yeah. I mean, okay, I guess just basic introductions, right? Hi, my name is Ijeoma. I'm 21. I'm from North Carolina, but I'm here in like Texas because I go to school here. In terms of voice acting, yeah, just getting started, it's been something I've been interested in for a while, so I thought, I guess, you know, might as well try my best. So I've just been doing like a lot of like stuff on Casting Call Club recently. Just doing auditions for that. Been working on the auditions for the Echoes of Eternity, the visual novel. Read the script for that
Casting
first.
Call Club, hey, I'm on there too. I may not have done many projects, but I'm gonna plan to do one. Someone's making like a Final Fantasy comic dub, and I'm gonna try to see if I can get a role or two.
Very
Yeah.
cool, Jaren. You were saying,
Yeah,
Ijeoma?
Yeah,
Talking about
Casting
the
Call Club is
alley.
great. I think it's free and there's a lot of projects on there, so it's a great place to start out. Um, and then yeah, like working on the auditions for the Echoes of Eternity, and then I guess recently I just completed my certification exam for Japanese, so excited about that. And
はい、日本語ですか？
日本語が話せます。
はいはい、すごいすごい。
まだまだです。
うん
Um,
私は勉強UCF です。
うんど
こんに
のぐらい、
ちは。
どのぐらいに日本語を勉強
うん
していますか？
はいはい。
Oh, hi,
私は、
hi.
私は学祭ですの勉強、美術です。
そうです。面白い。
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, one button. Like, y'all Japanese are so good. Like,
I
I can
know
only
it sounds
say,
like they're professionals. One
yeah.
time I took Spanish class in high school, but it feels like everything just like flew out my brain.
Yeah, like me right now, I'm currently, well, like currently studying Japanese and Spanish, but really honing into the Spanish point because after my play, so mostly like for the Spanish up to date. Now some Japanese words I trying to remember like verbatim what everything said.
Thank you, Jacques, and thank you, Ijeoma. Was there anything else you wanted to share?
Oh no, I'm good. I'm blushing so hard right now. I'm glad my camera is off.
Oh,
Yeah.
I want to share something else, please, that's okay.
We gotta keep moving along, and thank you for sharing. We're
Okay.
releasing on time here, but I'd love to hear
Okay.
from the one who is called Zoom User, if you're available.
Okay.
I'll give you a few seconds there. I haven't heard from you yet. Okay, if you want to join in, just unmute your mic or throw us a message in the chat. Chandler, are you there?
Indeed, I am.
Welcome.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I've been dealing with some IRL work stuff, so I haven't been able to join one of these. So, plus
Don't
my
know why,
camera's
but that
broken.
icon's making me think of Plus from Pokemon.
Yeah, I try. But for those of you who don't know me, my name is Chandler Dunaway. I'm a voice actor of 8 years. My first real big credit was on Team Fortress 2 under 2 different announcers on the maps Embargo and on PD Galleria. Right now, I'm just making my way through, trying to get roles, build up a booth, and then finally get a demo made from our good man Austin here. Which hopefully you got my email on that. So
I did. Yep, I did. I haven't responded yet because I was just talking with Karen Strassman. We're actually dreaming up another demo reel offer, and we don't have all the specifics nailed yet, but we're pretty close. She wants to help us out with directing the demo reel process as like an option, like an add-on to the demo reel package. So I was going to explain that to you when we had everything finalized. But so there will still, of course, be the regular demo reel package, and then if you want it directed by Karen with a couple of hours of her time, 2 different sessions, you'll be able to do that as an add-on as well.
Oh heck yeah, I would 100% be down for that. Though at the current moment, I'm mainly trying to get the vocal booth set up. Right now, I'm halfway through funding it. Right now, I have a goal of $7,000 for a vocalbooth.com Silver Series booth. Very nice model. I'm halfway through funding it, so I am so close. And then as soon as that's done, I'm gonna immediately holler over to y'all over at the studio to try and get this thing all set up because I'm so excited to do this.
Champ, I'm so sorry.
No.
If I may, there's actually a Facebook group called VO Gear Exchange where they actually sell like Studio Bricks booths and other booths at a like severely reduced cost. Like mine is a Gretchen sound insulation booth. Granted, I bought it 5 years ago, and I just had to drive out there and pick it up. It goes for about $4,000. I got it for $800.
Wow, 800. That's impressive.
I gotta write that down.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to like. Hope that was okay.
Wait, you said the group is called VO Gear Exchange, right? I should find out.
Yeah, they vet people coming in and everything instead of them just bombarded. But they do sell like studio, like I have a Sennheiser, goes for over 1,000. I bought it for 400. Everything in my booth, aside from the acoustic treated blankets and the panels behind it, I bought from that group.
I gotcha. I will definitely have to give that a look.
They're very expensive, but they do have like those all used at a reduced price because people are moving or what have you. I'm very sorry to interrupt, by the way, Austin.
Oh no, you're all good. That was super helpful. I believe Miss Larissa just dropped the link in the chat to that Facebook group. So that's extremely helpful. I did want to take a few minutes. I know we're coming in for a landing here actually in the next 15, but I wanted to share a little bit about Samurai as a Sound for those of you who are joining us for the first time, and then talk about what we have upcoming. I have a few announcements to make, but you probably know most of the broad strokes about who we are by now, so I won't bore you with all the details, but we work with all the top names and games in anime. And of course, you know all about our membership community by now. The way that we offer everything is through our Samurai as a Sound membership. Most of us here this evening are actually members, which is always nice to see. And we have 3 tiers. We have the white belt, the red belt, and the black belt. And I have an exclusive discount for you if you're looking to get started on any of the tiers. But you get discounts on the workshops, networking invites. You can update your demo reel for a discount, or there's ways to lump it in if you know you're going to go ahead and do it. We record all of our workshops. You can access all the recordings, community hubs, courses from Karen Strassman and Morgan Berry. We talked about the exclusive casting calls for Echoes of Eternity as our first one. Roleplay workouts, we didn't talk about those, but that's kind of, I was thinking about that when we were talking about theater. It's always sort of like a very theatrical experience. With our
sorry to interrupt, Austin, but when I first had never gotten into role play, but I made a friend with someone on Genshin Impact when I was playing on the PlayStation, and we role played like all sorts of various scenarios in that game, mostly improv and whatever else.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of improv, a lot of zany characters that are really really fun.
I think I got used to the whole improv shtick, so man, I love Genshin Impact. It's one of my favorite video games.
Okay, moving on, we have some voiceover challenges on our server. You get access to our members-only server. You get a webpage where you can showcase your skills. We partner with Sweetwater for those of you who are doing less of a custom implementation on your home studio. There's a bundle that you can kind of use to get started. Let me see. I'm going to mute Those of you who have some TV running in the background, let's see, resources to help you land gigs. That's a packet on getting started with the online audition platforms, and as you get started to find representation if you want to get an agent. We recorded some workshops on audio and priority support from us, of course. If you want private training with myself or Raj, we talked a little bit about Raj. Many of you are doing so through our red belt program or our black belt program. And then you get if through the black belt, you get twice the training. Produced demo reel is included in the cost, and 8 complimentary workshop tickets. So I will go ahead and just launch straight into what workshops we have coming up in the time we have remaining. You can register for role plays. This is what it looks like when you log in as a member, but this information is also available on our website. Roleplay workouts, community hubs. Wendy Lee is doing auditioning for video games and anime coming up in just under a month. So if you are interested in attending that, just shoot me an email. You can use the contact form on our website. I will see it. Or if you have any questions, you can ask them now. But that's going to be really fun. And Karen Strassman has 2 workshops coming up. Anime dubbing. We talked a little bit about dubbing. She'll show us a skill that is kind of hard to practice unless you're in the right situation. So that'll be a really interesting opportunity. Creatures and Monsters. She does that one every year. And we just we haven't announced it yet, but we just confirmed details for a workshop with Andrea Toyes. Is going to be doing, I believe it's casting director for a day. And that's going to be in just a few months as well. So we'll have more details about that on the website soon. Just to cover a few things that I heard us talking about. Let's see. Specifically, I wanted to just let everyone know, it's kind of at the bottom, but this is that audition portal for Echoes of Eternity. So members will see this in their member resources. And the auditions for that are, for season 1, episode 1, are open for another 2 weeks. I think it's May 7th, I think they close. I could be wrong about the day, but so just be aware of that. Let's see, what else are we talking about? I think that was the only thing I wanted to say specifically about the membership. So that's our spiel. And any questions about that, upcoming workshops, etc.?
Yeah, because I thought Wendy Lee would be here Tuesday unless she had to change her plan.
She is. She's coming next week. Yeah, let me drop the link to. Oh yeah, I was gonna give you guys the discount links, and I'll drop the link for Wendy's. Wendy is coming next week to the community hub, so we can do a little Q&A with her, and of course she has a wealth of experience, and she can share a little bit about.
And is the auditioning part for actual auditioning or practicing for auditioning?
I'm sorry, I was reading something else. What did you say?
Is the auditioning for video games and anime a practice or basically what we expect?
It's, I believe we'll be practicing with scripts. Yeah, she'll bring scripts and we'll practice auditioning. I'm sure it's both and. But if you're interested in the specifics, you can of course ask her whatever questions you have next week. I will throw the white belt 20% off. These coupon codes are, like I said, these are definitely the best discounts you're going to get on our programs, but they are good for the rest of the day. So just be aware of that. That was a good question, JC. Any other questions?
So yeah, question. Can we use, if we are a member, can we use our private session with you or Raj to work up our audition?
Yes, if you are, yeah, of course. You can use your private, if you have private training sessions as a red belt or a black belt member, you can use them however you like. And I think that's a great use of your time, especially because, well, it's part of our little ecosystem here, but also it's just really good practice with characters that, I'm really familiar with. So that always helps when you're giving direction. Of course, you can bring whatever scripts you like to our practice sessions. So hopefully that answers your question. Let's see, red belt. I'm getting a little sidetracked here. That was a great question. Thank you. and black belt. Yeah, and if you just open those up in your browser, you'll see that the coupon codes are pre-filled. So just catching up on our chat here. If you have any questions, let me know. Oh, Nico's coming. Sorry, I just saw Nico in the waiting room. Oh yeah, Wendy Lee. I was gonna get the code, the link to register for Wendy Lee. That is a free community hub, just like this one. Will be that Q&A will be free, and then she'll be talking about her workshop.
Hey Austin, how is Raj? First time I met him was during my first Zoom interview with him, and I think he's a cool guy like you.
Raj is a very cool guy. He's a dear friend of mine, and I hope that you get to meet him one day. He got his start, for those of you who don't know, he got his start in Cowboy Bebop, working on Knocking on Heaven's Door, 2001, I think, the film, and also Silent Hill. So he has a wealth
Silent Hill?
Yeah, Silent Hill as well.
I've heard a lot about Silent Hill. In fact, a while back, I recently beat Silent Hill 2 on the PlayStation 5. But hey, just to say, I'm a YouTuber. I mostly do gaming videos, but I also put myself out there that I want to be a voice actor. I already shared my YouTube channel in the chat, as well as a link to a playlist that I made showing videos of me voicing in. For example, a Pokemon fan animation where I'm Ash, some other comics from this channel called Bus Arrow Studios, and they're making a Kickstarter for a video game. And also I may have added a few things from a certain anime that I like, where I voiced the main protagonist. Has anyone heard of I Left My A Rank Party to help my former students reach the dungeon depths? Yeah, it's that one. I voiced Yuka Feldio, and when I edited the videos, and it was really good.
Very cool. Thank you for sharing, Jiren. I wanted to touch on Zairia's comment. Excuse me if I'm mispronouncing your name, but I just want to say welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And we really appreciate you getting started and involved in our community. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't even have experience, but I always wanted to be a voice actor. Voice actors for the longest, so.
We've come to the right place. I also wanted to welcome Nico. Nico, thank you for joining us.
Hi, yeah. Thanks, Austin. Sorry, it's just funny. It's like, oh yeah, a person I've never met before. Just kidding. Yeah, Austin and I have worked for like the past couple months, particularly with helping with like the Lotus Juice concert. So that was a good experience. So I'm hoping to help.
Yeah, I saw your name come up. I was like, oh my gosh, Nico's here. Yeah, Nico was a huge help for promoting our show that Raj did with Lotus Juice on March 29th in San Francisco. We've got a few more in the pipeline there, similar shows. So Nico was in the studio just a few weeks ago. We were sitting down looking at some stuff that we have going on. So Nico is very much a part of who we are and what we do, and we're thankful for him. So welcome.
So do you guys teach the basics? Sorry.
The basics? Sorry, what?
Mm-hmm. Do you teach the basics in voice acting in general, or?
Absolutely. We definitely meet you where you are. We have workshop recordings and upcoming workshops for any skill level if you've been voicing for years or you're just looking to get started. So don't worry about that. And then if you do the private training with us, it's even more tailored towards your experience. We really do meet you right where you are and develop the kinds of the skills that you're going to need to succeed in the industry.
Yeah, don't worry, we don't bite.
Okay, because I'm like, I used to work at a movie theater and cinema cafe in Chester, Virginia. Now I reside in Charlotte as a dietary aide. So it's like my mom or anyone says I have a good voice and stuff like that. So I'm like, might as well use it.
Yeah, it's like anyone can be a voice actor. It's like anyone can cook. I know it sounds cliche, but I mean, we're led by people like Karen Strassman. She was born in France. They told her she would be nothing. They told her all this negative stuff, and look at her. She's a voice actress, director, an actress, and on-screen director, and she's even the voice of Disney World Paris.
I say anyone can cook, but only the fearless can be great. Pure poetry. That's Ratatouille.
Fun fact, Gusteau is actually Italian, not French.
Wow.
It's always the Italians carrying the French.
Should have known. I should have known.
That is funny. I actually just watched Ratatouille with my wife the other night. So I want to thank
It's
you
one of my
all
favorite Disney
for
movies.
taking
Better
time out of
than-
your busy schedules and checking in with us. Like I said, I think I put the link in for the Wendy Lee Q&A. That's our next event, also free Community Hub event. So if you haven't done so, register for that and keep an eye on your emails for the Voices Rising newsletter that'll be coming out in a couple of days. And I know some of you have messaged me about questions, so I'll hang out for just another minute or so, five minutes or so. But I want to thank you all for joining us and wish you a great week, and I will see you soon.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Austin. Appreciate it.
See you next
Have a-
week.
Thank you, Austin.
Thank you so much, guys. See you next week. Good luck with you, Johnny.
Thank you.